Circulatory System, Class 7, Science. Hello and welcome to all. Today I'm going to teach you about circulatory system. So, life support system, it is related to the blood flow and circulation, and the blood carries the food and the oxygen, and it will take away the waste and the carbon dioxide. So the three parts of the circulatory system are, number one, the blood vessels, and the heart, which is the pumping organ. So blood is divided into, which is a body fluid, it is divided into comprised of two parts, the plasma and the blood cells. So plasma is what? Plasma is the non-living liquid, which is the non-living liquid which carries the carbon dioxide, it removes, and it carries the waste material to the kidney. What about the blood cells? So blood cells has RBCs, WBCs and platelets. RBCs is the red blood cells which carries oxygen, and it also has a pigment known as hemoglobin, which combines with the oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. And what about WBCs? So WBCs are the immunity building cells, or which is the fighting cell, also known as soldier of the body. And the platelets are so platelets is for clotting, and the blood vessels has arteries, veins and capillaries. So arteries is what? Arteries will carry the oxygenated blood from the heart to the body. It has thick muscular pipe which is being there, and it carries blood, and the veins are the one which carries the deoxygenated blood. But in general is there, but the exception of artery and the vein is the pulmonary artery. Listen very carefully. Pulmonary artery will carry the deoxygenated blood. Generally artery carries the oxygenated blood, but the pulmonary artery will carry the deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. And what about the pulmonary veins? Generally veins carry the deoxygenated blood, which is carbon dioxide containing blood, but the pulmonary vein will carry from the lungs to the heart the oxygenated blood. And what about the capillaries? It is in between, a connection in between the artery and the veins. They are the small fine thread, one cell like tubules. So these three are the tubes basically. Okay. So next is our heart, which is the main organ, which is a muscular organ, and it's situated between the thoracic cavity or the chest cavity, and it has generally it has four chamber in humans. And the four chamber comprises of the two auricles, that is the right auricle and the left auricle. This is the right auricle and the left auricle, and the ventricles, that is the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Arteries carry the bright red blood which is flow through the body, and it has jerks, just because the flow is so much high, that is why the jerks are there, and you can feel the artery near your wrist. Okay. And what about the pulse? The pulse is a throbbing movement of the blood, flow of the blood, and the pulse rate is of course the heartbeat per minute, and it is generally 72 to 80 in the normal healthy human being. And what about the vein? So vein has the deoxygenated blood, but it has a wider lumen and it has thin walls. So this is flow of the blood is sometimes back flow. So to prevent that back flow, every time the vein has from near distance, there is valves which will prevent the backflow of the blood. And capillary, you understood very well that it is between the artery and the vein, the small fine tubules which will carry the blood into each organ in each tissue and muscles. Okay. So now coming at first talking about the four chambers. Okay, these are the four chambers you have seen. Now this is a septum which divides the left heart and the right heart. Okay. And what about the oxygenated blood? So oxygenated blood is carried from the lungs to the heart by the pulmonary vein. So these are the pulmonary vein which will carry the oxygenated blood to the left auricle, and left auricle, in from here there is a contraction. So when the contraction is there, the blood will sink in, it will flow in, and then this valve will open. And when this bicuspid or the mitral valve will open, it will flow in the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle to the aorta, it is carried throughout the body. And so this is the exception, pulmonary vein. Okay. What about the pulmonary, what about the deoxygenated blood? So, but in the whole body, the artery will carry the oxygenated blood, not the vein. Now coming to the deoxygenated blood. So from the whole body, the veins will carry the deoxygenated blood to the heart by the inferior and the superior vena cava, and it will come into the right auricle. So right auricle will contract and it will receive the blood, and this tricuspid valve open. Now it will flow into the right ventricle. This will contract. When this ventricles contract, it will flow, and this will relax. Auricles will relax, and this from the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it goes to the pulmonary artery, which is the exceptional artery which carries deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. Okay, so this is about the circulation of the blood. In here also, from the you can see very clearly from the lungs, the oxygenated blood by the pulmonary vein is carried to the left auricle. Then from the left ventricle, it will go to the whole body through aorta. Aorta is the largest artery present in the human body. And the deoxygenated, so this is about the oxygenated one. The deoxygenated blood is carried from the body through all the veins. Here all the artery will carry the oxygenated blood. Here all the vein will carry the deoxygenated blood from the body to the heart, and this received by the right auricle and then transferred to the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle the pulmonary artery will carry to deoxygenated blood to the lungs. So this is all about the circulatory system. And the systolic and the diastolic rate, it has contraction and relaxation of the heart muscle. So when there is relaxation, it is a diastole, and when there is contraction, it is a systole, and there is a lub-dub sound also produced. And lub sound is ventricles contract and cuspid walls close, and the dub sound is when the pulmonary and aortic valves close. So it will close, and the normal heart repeats lub-dub sound, which is 72 heartbeat per minute, and which is measured by the measuring instrument stethoscope. Okay, so this is all about the heartbeat and the heart rate. I hope you like this circulatory system. Thank you.
If you like this channel, please subscribe, like and share. Thank you.